Hello. So let me introduce the day. Is the 11th of April 2022, and it's 11:27 a.m. and I think there's some smoke from outside coming in. I was actually a little stuffy, so I opened my window. It's getting cold already, but I thought freshen the room up. It's hardly I'm able to these days with the temperature being so low. I think someone outside smoking, so I'm gonna have to. Actually, I think it's sawdust I can smell. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm getting any chest problems, or maybe it's not smoke. I'll need to shut my window in a bit. Probably now, actually. So. So yeah, the what feels like abuse continues. Joshina sent me an email on Friday, I think. Today's Monday. I replied, I replied immediately, twice, or fairly immediately. And then Saturday I sent another one apologising, and today I just sent another one saying, okay, I will meet you, I'll try again, but I cannot handle any more lies or deception. But yeah, it's just you feel like you've been turned into a bully for complaining. You're now regarded as the problem maker. She said, hello, due to the recent situation, what was it? I had it open a moment ago. I was too afraid to look at it again. I was too afraid to check my emails. I checked them just about 10 minutes ago for the first time, and it's almost 12 p.m. Normally I'd have checked them long ago, but I thought there's going to be an email from Joshina, but there hasn't been. I feel like I'm being forced to be submissive again. Yes, I know the trade's not going well. Nothing is going well these days. What's this? Oh, that's a present from my father, because when my father, mother and sister visited, they actually drove to Surrey Oak specifically. It was the day before Mother's Day, Saturday. So I had a present gave to my mother. I was meaning to get something else as well. It was like a heart-shaped plate to start with. I thought, oh, that's nice, and I was meaning to get some flowers or something as well. And my sister, I bought a hat for her maybe a couple of months ago, and she was going to visit on her own. I said, I can give it to you then, or if I visit, etc., etc. But she ended up coming with my mother and father, so I gave it to them. But then, of course, I thought, oh, hang on, everyone's getting presents, but my father isn't. So I'm not sure how much he likes fudge, but I ordered a box of fudge to my parents' house, and if the timing goes well, it should arrive around when I visit. I have a coach booked for the 13th, so I think, 13th. I was just thinking, so I thought Joshina said she would come the 12th, which is tomorrow. I was thinking that 13th was the 12th, as in the day she'd visit, because I knew it was the day after she was due to visit. Yeah, so it's 13th. Hang on, that doesn't make sense. That's a Wednesday. I thought it was a Thursday. My dates are getting confused. For some reason, a Thursday in my head. I think a lot of things been happening on Thursday. Maybe that was my hospital appointment, I think. Anyway, so then I can give it personally without it, I've got pain all over. Without it, what was I going to say without it? Pain's distracting me from my thoughts. Without it, I don't even know what I was going to say now. My brain is so foggy. But no word from Joshina by email, and I'm not allowed to message her about it. But yeah, what I was saying was, what was I even talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, what was I talking about? Oh. I keep saying I'll get back to creative writing. I'm hardly eating and hardly sleeping. My brain's just so keen to finish my books and stuff, but it's just not happening. What was I saying? Current account statement. Oh my! When I woke up, my laptop, it showed a BIOS message, a bit of stuff in here. I think a BIOS message, and I panicked, of course. I thought it's not going to open all my work. It said battery critical, and it said continue or something else. I clicked continue, but quickly flipped the switch on my. I don't get how the battery could be critical. So I was also thinking, Windows has been doing updates because it should have been sleeping or hibernating. Hibernating it should have been doing. So maybe Windows has been messing around, but no, it restored everything. If I put in my password, it made out that it was not going to, if you have the welcome, if you even had the welcome message, it was different. It didn't say resuming Windows, it was just, it was all different, and the Dell thing was taking a little while, but then you think, that's because there's lots of data in the cache, so it is going to restore all of my, so I've got countless documents, countless windows with like 600 tabs across them all, about 300 probably. Camera, Google Chrome, in addition to the aforementioned browser with loads of tabs, Windows Explorer, Movie Maker, etc., Skype. That would have been a bit of a disaster as well. But it did restore. So it says it's got like 2.5 hours to fully charge. I'm not surprised if it really was critical, but how on earth did it get critical? What has Windows been up to? You're signing me out there, then I can charge my phone. That works very well with me. Then I need to show these messages I've been receiving from Jashina. What was I talking about? Something. What was I talking about? My short-term memory is getting worse and worse. It really is. This email. So Jashina, hello Barry. This is how we are going to communicate from now on due to the recent situation. If you can refrain, she meant to refrain, I suppose, yourself from messaging me on WhatsApp, that would be great. You can message me on my personal phone and say, this is a concern I have, this is what we were saying about not being able to handle complaints. They need like this email they can only access from the office, I guess, because it's got HB-housing in it. The lines are blurred between their work life and their, in that they can, by WhatsApp, they can still receive messages and such. And she sent it's such an imbalance of power, partly because I'm always looking out for her and other people. So you feel you're not allowed to complain, and while you're doing that, holding her life up as well as your own, she's piling pressures on. Look, you're not doing anything to help us. We've gone above and beyond, etc., etc. This is no laughing matter. And so you've got to respond to that, clarify what the heck's going on. This is serious. Don't. What the hell? I was the one who started these complaints. She sort of just referenced, this is no laughing matter. And then you're essentially blocked. So you're not allowed to defend yourself from these lies. And But as I say, it's a poor said. I said this to the band from Concept, Jethro. That's still the main email to come. But as a short email, I need to tell you I'm worried about a support worker's mental health and the setup, you need to inquire as to what's going on, how do they give moral support to staff and such, because from what I've heard from phone calls from certain colleagues that are not such, and from other people, Saj has a bit of a temper, and I overheard Dazia say on the phone to Jashina, stay away from the office, he's in a very bad mood. And obviously now I think about that, oh gosh, I can't complain any further, because then Saj will get upset and he'll take it out on Jashina, etc. I cannot subject them to that abuse. So how do you complain? How do you complain? How do you... So then the abuses happen, like the fire exit thing, trying to force me to sign something which is untrue. And she was admitted as being untrue. She was incapable of telling me where the second fire exit was, even though there were only two. And there was no confidence. She said you'd have to get back to me or something, or I don't remember really precisely what she said, but something to that effect, I'm pretty sure. But the point being, she couldn't tell me. I had to tell her, and because she has the sort of legal thought, in a sense. We all are equals, but she's the one trying to say that can you sign this contract? And obviously I'm saying, well no, you have failed, but you constructed this contract, so you need to go back to the lawyer, which I suppose would be Saj, because obviously you don't have to have a lawyer creating a contract, but in this case Saj is a lawyer. Actually I think it's Concept Housing, isn't it, who create the contract. So maybe it's Concept Housing who needs, they definitely need to up their game, definitely in all sorts of ways. But Jethro from Concept Housing, admitted this is wrong. You can't do that. This is criminal. This is fraud, and no one's taking it seriously. He seems to be. I'm sure he may be, or I don't know if he has been back to them yet about this issue. Hopefully he will be, but. I'm thinking, you never do this, and also it's the casuality. Jashina was just sitting there so casually, not prompting me, saying, do you understand? Do you... So, and the argument that, if I sign it or anyone else signs it, they have to be damned by that. Obviously, morally that's wrong, and even legally, people have argued that, obviously, if you're acting under duress, that means it's not your actual signature. I've often acted under duress, you have to. This is why lawyers and certain people, and like even online, when you sign terms and conditions, they don't let you skip or sign sometimes until a certain amount of time has passed, just to try and encourage you to actually read. There are all these measures really, often just to protect themselves, but also to try and make sure you've actually read it. Whereas for Jashina's complaint, I was so casual. She was just like, can you sign these forms? No explanation for what they were, nothing. So obviously I'm reading through. Are you aware of where the first fire exit is? And because I was nearer to the back door, I said, there's a fire exit. And she said, no, it's the front one. Yeah, of course it is, yeah. And then it said, are you aware of where the alternative fire exit? As I said, it's got to be that one. She said, no. She said, no, because then you'd be climbing over a fence in the event of a fire. Well, you can't be upstairs, can you? You can't climb out of the windows. It has to be downstairs. There are only two fire exits, right? So it has to be that one. And there was just no answer. She couldn't say. And then she wants me to sign her. And so this is where the deception or sense of deception comes in. She says, that's fine, but then she runs off to Saj, and I get a phone call from Saj saying, but Barry, I heard you refused to sign the paperwork. Huh? No, you refused to take the paperwork seriously. You refused to present something that I could morally and legally sign. The onus is always on the victim to explain themselves, that they never stop to hang on a moment. Why would Barry refuse, and is that even a correct term to use? What actually happened, Jashina? It's all just like gossip and hearsay and speculation, and like Darcy came around the other day to check on the people within the house as though I'm some violent terrorist, but just through making these complaints. And the people in the house have been really supportive, thankfully, so that's really good. And that shows division, because it prevents me, it discourages other people from speaking up, and it makes me act as though I'm the, whether it's intentional or not, they're making me seem as though I'm an antagonist, which can sow division in relationships between me and other people in the house. But also Darcy, he didn't speak to the person most at risk due to this stress, me. he spoke to everyone else, but he didn't speak to me. So due to my complaints, I've missed out on a welfare check, which concept we're going on about being so important. I've missed out on a welfare check. I'm not allowed to contact a support worker, except by email during certain hours. See what I mean? You can't complain, as in you're not allowed to complain. And then there's this exclusion, which I refuse to acknowledge the existence of that word. It's called an eviction. However you term it, is an eviction. But they call it exclusion, and it means they can tell you to leave. Say, oh, it's short-term accommodation. You can leave on your go and be homeless. I wonder why there's such a homelessness, a problem with homelessness. It's really sickening. It really is sickening, and it's just so they don't realise the power they have. And it's like, as I say, when Saj said to me, well, if you don't like it, you can leave. Only a morally bankrupt millionaire with 600 properties under his belt could ever say that. I mean, honestly, that's the simplification, the callousness. It's disgusting. I have no respect for him anymore, none at all. I mean, he's already, had these very questionable moments, but now I see completely there's a great callousness. Whenever you challenge him, be pleasant up the front, but when you start challenging him, he starts. Well, if the staff who work with him were honest, you wouldn't need to hear from me. You should understand the picture straight away, what the picture is. So I don't know. So Joshina's not responding to me, if I could speak. So I don't know what's going on. This is interesting. I've just responded to someone on Twitter. I'm really dreading getting an email. Just keep getting these nightmares, such as you're out or such as going to come storming round, say you're out, even though it's concept who can actually do the eviction. I mean, they say these places of people with mental health problems are homelessness, are homeless, and yet there's no security. They're allowed to check that out. See, the less your income is determined to be, the less rights you have. And you can sit to there's no argument against it in every way. The lower class you're determined, the less rights you have. Now you're not even afforded the term eviction when you're being evicted. There's a special low class word, excluded, or excluding you, or excluding us from the human civilization. Yeah, that was done long ago before we were even born. The danger of people passionately. What the heck? Oh no, wait, that's a starting point that this trade has been dragging on for so long. Everything is going well. It really does happen in phases though, doesn't it? It really does, and some of it's psychological, and also when something encourages you, it may encourage you to seek out positive stimuli, or then you end up meeting a new friend or something, etc., or you're able to appreciate or identify other positivities more. But no, it really can be waves that come and go. So now there's another strong way, which is trying to push me to a depressive state, particularly after exhausting energy, trying to prove that there's a problem with the heating and hot water. And so that happened to me. When did I brush my teeth? Oh gosh, I'm hungry. Brush my teeth. 1 hour or so ago, maybe was it even? Yeah, it was 10, maybe 10 something. Because I thought if I don't brush my teeth now, I'm never going to brush my teeth. I've been struggling with this for the last 4-5 days, I think. Sometimes I just fall asleep and so tired. Once I managed to drink some water, try and brush my teeth with them, using my tongue, and yeah, sometimes in the morning it's so difficult as well. Or it always is. It always is difficult. I don't know, it just exhausts me brushing teeth and finding the motivation. But yeah, so it's warm-ish to start with. Then at some point it became hot, but I think it became cold first, and stayed cold, then became hot again, then became cold, and I think then became warm, something like that. Those fluctuations are they normal? Come on. But it's that just someone will come around, turn the tap on for a few seconds. Oh, there's no problem. There you go. You know what I mean. But the others do not wish to speak up, so it's just me doing it. And I'm some pathological lie in their eyes. Even though I just try saying to Jashina, it's funny how Saj is round here. What does that tell you? That he believes me. He knows I'm not unreasonable. So, but then she made out that I was laughing at someone, or him or something. She said, "Oh, this is no laughing matter." Huh? Well, see, I don't know. Does she really not understand how, when words are employed above their base meaning? And I don't know. It's like I can't tell if she's doing it on purpose. It's really doing my head in. It feels like the gaslighting. Does she understand what she is saying, or yeah, it's just it's really, and as I say, the whole creepy WhatsApp status thing. I've been meaning to pull them up on that for some time. The Facebook WhatsApp status is the equivalent to adding someone on Facebook. Really, it may seem strange, but it's true. See the intimate detail when you add a new contact to just to your phone really, or they add you, whatever. Make sure. See if they have a WhatsApp account, and make sure you go to status privacy settings and block them if you do not want them to see your status updates. You'll still be able to communicate with them via WhatsApp, but they will not be able to see your live status updates. You'll still be able to go to your profile and see the more static one, the old version one, where just go on your profile and there's a status update. If you go now, you probably find you last said it 2 years ago or something. I think that's when I last said it, because I never really used to use the live one until it's more like Instagram, the live WhatsApp status update. You have different frames that you flick through, different sort of rectangles. But yeah, how's this charging going? 1 hour and 48 minutes to full charge. Goodness. But yeah, I kept seeing she viewed, and someone said to me that she came round. So she believes me. Apparently she came round because she saw my status update. And this is again why she seems deceptive. She tried the tap once and it was cold. She said maybe it's a problem with the pressure in the boiler. We were showing her, look, run the tap. It wasn't even me who opened the tap, and it was someone else. They got there before me. He said, look, come and see. It's cold. And yet then the man from Concept comes around and acts as though we do not know how combi boilers work. Oh, it's just a combi boiler. And they're so patronised, so incredibly patronising. And, when it's summertime, you'll be complaining about the heat. That's irrelevant, and it's not a minor thing. I said, you know what it's like, having these horrible aches when you're touching cold water. And these issues are supposed to be fixed within 24 hours, supposed to have hot, warm water. And then he says something like, well, no, if there's a part you need to order. Well, of course I understand that, but you're supposed to address them at the very least within 24 hours. That's what I say, but you end up being submissive and just go along with it. They don't see your point. So I subjected myself to another test. Was it yesterday or the day before? It was just, I think, again, when everyone else was still asleep pretty much, or if not completely. I think I did an upstairs, that bathroom first, then downstairs, I think I did the downstairs bathroom before the kitchen, or maybe I did the kitchen first, downstairs then bathroom. There were problems, and with the radiator, the heating is on, supposedly, according to the digital thermostat. There's no heat from the radiator. So it's like there's a timer, and obviously that then turns off the hot water, because the old thermostat control, when you change the temperature, it affected the ability to receive hot water as well. So why would the digital thermostat lose that ability? Obviously there's a connection. So apparently some boilers have a preheat setting, and I don't know if ours is on or off. So it's under lock and key. But yeah, it's just not being believed. I sent an email, as I say, to Jethro. I said, look, if we can have a staff meeting, a meeting between me, staff, yourself, preferably not with Sergeant Jasheen in the room, as I don't think I'll be able to watch it with them. But yeah, it's just now you feel you've been trying to find a delicate way of complaining, and now you've made that to be this villain. You're not allowed welfare checks anymore. I mean, so for they know, I was genuinely thinking on these thoughts. Well, I don't have the paper with me, but before the men from Concept came, I thought, let's do a hunger strike. I was actually prepared until I saw that he seemed fairly reasonable. He said, oh, you seem fine. You have no idea that I was about to start a hunger strike, and hand it to him, saying these things need to change. Oh, I'm willing to go on a hunger strike. And then I was thinking again today, hunger strike, once I've done my 10k run, because that's so important to me, even if I have to walk or crawl to finish it, do my 10k, and then then Al, he said, here's where his final words. Al, he came into this world, my twin Al, and he left very much of the same creature, of design or of nature versus nurture. Which is it? So anyway, I was thinking, I could have a hunger strike. I was imagining it, and really ready to go through if I can say all too strongly. But I was thinking, no one would be able to save me in time. And it was same for today. I mean, it was earlier today, but this hour where it's 11:54 a.m. So let's say I don't eat today, and I drink no more water. I've had water and orange juice for medication, so I've had something. Let's say I don't eat anything today. Jashina knocks on my door 2 p.m. I don't answer. What is going to happen? She'll think, oh, I'm not in the mood, and I'm not allowed to contact her via WhatsApp unless it's an emergency. And I called her 4 times because there was an emergency and there was no response. You know what I mean? How does she know whether or not it is an emergency? And the thing is, you're supposed to prevent emergencies. How do you prevent emergencies? Well, by staying in contact with people and letting them know they can contact. In fact, that's what she used to say to me, Barry, you can contact me about anything 24/7. I've now lost that right, because I'm complaining. The human rights afforded to me, and very little were afforded to me and the others in this place to begin with, they're now being stripped away. Now they are taking away welfare checks. There's no argument against that. I'm now no longer allowed to contact her unless it's via email or it's an emergency. But she has no way of knowing whether that's an emergency. Why would you want an emergency? Why wouldn't you prevent an emergency by keeping contact stable? Saying that these problems need to be addressed. She needs to be more honest. She needs to stop deceiving us. Other people have complained how she twists words and things, but obviously they don't want to speak up because of fear of eviction. So you're not allowed to speak up. You get evicted if you do speak up. You no welfare checks when Darcy came round. No welfare check for me. I could have been lying on my back, having not eaten for 2 or so days, and for the last, I don't know how long, 3 days, a week or whatever, I've been having only 1 meal a day. And I'm starting to run out of food now, so I have to find the strength and energy, the determination to buy more food soon, because it's basically vegetables that I need. I know I'm vegetarian, but do not even have any cheese, normal cheese or vegan, no kind whatsoever. yeah, so I'm feeling so hungry, so the meals have become smaller and smaller. I have packets of pasta, so that's what I'll be living on if I do not get out to the shop soon. She's not going to be here tomorrow. She said she'll go shopping with me. That's going to be so awkward. It's going to come down to Alden's at Sally Oak tomorrow, and obviously it's the most awkward shopping trip. But it's not going to help me. As I said to her, I feel it's causing harm. She's causing harm to me. But I said I'll try again. I should not have said that, but I feel like I'm being made into the bullies. I keep apologising. And I said, look, we can, let's try again, but I cannot handle any more deception or lies. And it's not going to be a support session, it's going to be a complaint session. This was what I was meaning to say to Jethro, because he was talking about how support sessions can be doing things on your behalf, which doesn't really make sense, because the whole point is to always support you directly. Other work is in addition to that. Because otherwise they'll claim, chasing up the housing benefit, that was support work. No, it wasn't. That's just selling up the rights to live in this house. And also, they dragged it out. Jashina said to me, we've had no rent since November. Well, you didn't listen to me. You took over, you wouldn't let me have any input. She kept saying, you need this form. No, you don't. It's this form. So I said, no, you can't put 60 hours down. Why am I not allowed to tell the truth? And she said, obviously, I think you have more income. No, I explained. I don't pay myself a salary from my limited corporation. And then eventually, I think it sort of understood, and it went through. The claim went through, see? Me and the council know what we're talking about, but Sadie and Jashina don't, but they keep insisting that they do. I mean, it's just an ongoing. I still haven't received a confirmation letter from Birmingham City Councils. I think they somehow forwarded it to the office, which is fraud. You can't. I need a copy, and any letter in my name has to be opened by myself. Anyone else opening it without my consent, that's criminal in my view. If you have no good reason, if you're not if you're acting without consent, that's criminal without some very good reason. Why are they doing this? Just like the other place, Resolute Housing Limited, they think, because you're applying for housing benefit, you have no right to open your own letters. Effectively, there's just no thought of consideration. There's just nothing. They just think, people don't complain, so therefore it's okay. So I'm not allowed to contact Jashina via WhatsApp, or then she later said on a personal phone, so does that include text message as well? I'm not allowed to contact her via her personal phone unless it's an emergency. So is this to do with my complaints? Are they gathering their legal what's it, so that they want to see what I say in emails rather than having to request Jashina for personal data on her WhatsApp account or whatnot? Why? And she just said, due to recent situation, can you please refrain? But then she said she's happy to see me. So you feel like you've stood on something. You think, my God, what have I done? Am I being unreasonable here? And then it's like, can I meet you Tuesday 2 p.m? Huh? But I thought you're afraid of me or something. I thought my complaints are unreasonable. What? It's I have such a headache. So I'm kind of hoping I'll see her tomorrow, but I don't know what to say. She's just so deceptive. When you see her face to face, you agree with everything and etc. And then she goes off to Saj and is, Barry, why haven't you done this? Barry, this is unacceptable. So it comes across as violent and scary, but in person she's the complete opposite. So I don't know if she's doing it on purpose, or because when I look at her, I think that she's not capable. She is not capable of that. She is not capable of deception. So then I think it must be a disorder or confusion of some sort, or just severe lack of education, incredible naivety. I don't know. But then I think this feels so planned, so constructed, and I've said, look, you need to do what's morally right. It's not what Saj tells you to do. You need a more conscience. Come on, speak freely, be honest with me. And is that someone downstairs? I hope it's not Saj starting a storm, kicking up a storm. But every time I hear the front, I don't think that was the front door, but every time I do, I get so scared, thinking Saj is going to come in and say, you need to get out. It's intolerable. So it's bad for the mental health set up as well. It's really bad. But also homelessness. The people who come here because they're homeless, and obviously some may have mental health problems as well, but whether or not they do, they're homeless. So you pick up these people and you say, we're going to give you a home, we're going to give you a housing benefit, we're going to support you. But by the way, you have no rights, we can tell you to go any time. But by the way, please set up shop, please register with a local dentist, like Nazia said when she was doing the paperwork, was it November last year? Please set up shop, etc., etc. But by the way, you can go any time, we don't like you. No rights at all. So you're claiming to rescue people from homelessness, but you can kick them out onto the street any time. You know, they don't check you have somewhere to stay, they'll just check you out. In England, by the way, this is in England, 2022, and this has probably been happening for decades, ever since supported accommodation became a thing. Okay, and then they call it excluded. You'll be excluded from the property. Excluded. What does that mean? Excluded. That basically implies the same as eviction. Excluded. Well, I'll tell you what. You're excluded from decency, common sense, and dignity, and it's unacceptable. It's really unacceptable. I mean, I'm so glad this mission is almost over, but obviously I want to stay as long as possible to trying to support the tenants, and also also going to say and gather as much more information as I can, see what happens in these type of properties, and obviously as a perfect candidate, because they're supposed to help people with mental health problems. Obviously that's me, and to an extent they did start to, so I thought, oh, this is good, I just see how it goes, they can help me, and they didn't help me actually. What I'll say, they didn't help me, but because it was a sort of slower paced living, it allowed me to, as in, there's how do I put it, I don't know, they just certain burdens were absent. There were new ones, but there were certain burdens absent, so I was able to, sort of rearrange my life and say, right, okay, now I can catch up on medical affairs, do this, do that. But then when problems started emerging, I mean, the lights were flickering and dull, causing problems, sensory problems with me, and headaches with someone else. They were like that for what, I don't know, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, I really can't remember, more than 8 weeks, I'd say, more than 8, I think, yeah, I'd say more than 8 weeks. Yes, because I remember, because of the guy who was evicted, they started playing up when he was there. So I remember testing. I came up my bedroom door and I was saying, hang on, they're taking longer and longer to come on. So they went through changes. They took longer to come on, these automatic lights, and they started flickering, and really, if you're epileptic, and I've always suspected that I am epileptic, but someone said it's another type of sensory problem, but whatever, patterns of lights, they really messed with me. That wasn't fun at all. I said that did not tickle, and there's a sort of apology, but not a real apology. And what else was I going to say? That's a health and safety issue, and then they took the bulbs out, but they didn't replace them the same day. So, the complete darkness, health and safety issue. What if there was a fire? Oh, there were no light bulbs. Oh, no one complained. Actually, I complained. And staff know, as I say, people knocking on my door, they can see there's a problem. And it's just excuse after excuse after excuse. So, and as I said, and because I heard Darcy say something which made it sound as though Jashini's Dale's going to have a problem with Darcy. When I was trying to praise him, I said, although I think he waved out the window, he didn't see me, because I was sitting somewhere else in the kitchen. But someone came in, I think it was sometime last week, maybe Thursday or Friday. They didn't communicate with us like they normally would. They went straight upstairs. So I said, they snuck up, spun on my WhatsApp and status update. The lights are unfixed until Darcy fixed them, until he snuck in, fixed them. And that was fine. And maybe it was Darcy who unscrewed him and took his time, like we were saying, he was trying to get out of behind the being, saying you'll do it later, and obviously he'll forget. And the housemate, according to this housemate, he encouraged Darcy to do it. When you try to give a compliment, it's twisted. if I am reading the situation correctly, what Darcy said, that Jashina's saying, it just feels like school, doesn't it? All this got she said, he said, it just really does my head in. Come on, just be honest, instead of all this gossiping. Oh, Barry said Darcy snuck in. That's so terrible. Yeah, he did. He didn't speak to us. He snuck in to finish the job, but they say it's finally done. You're trying to compliment them, and it's just one thing after another. Saying Darcy, the lights were, what was it? I said the lights were unfinished until Darcy snuck in to finish them. Snuck in. See, that's the correct term. He just went straight upstairs. That was his mission. Went straight upstairs, fitted the bulbs, and went down. Finally, job done. He didn't communicate with us. So he just went straight in, avoided us. Maybe to speak to us, but. And it just does my head in. Like everything you say is, and as I say, a housemate, at least one other has found the same problem. Interestingly, so I'm trying to look out for them as well. But she just twists everything you say. I don't know if she genuinely doesn't understand what you're saying or what, but something is wrong, and I'm worried about the stress that is too much for her. Because I was saying, in her current state, she's not fit to be a support worker. We can see that from every angle. So she's putting people in danger, she's putting herself in danger. I mean, this is criminal, trying to ask someone to sign something that she doesn't understand herself. That's criminal. The casuality of it, and the concept, and HB Housing have a cheek to try and hold you to the terms in the contract. You don't know what the terms are. You don't understand them yourself. The contract is null and void. And the license agreement, which is a type of contract, that's null and void for so many reasons. Never mind the breach of contract, because CCTV was promised before I moved in, so that formed a part of the contract. That was a verbal agreement. It's all null and void. You don't understand what you're asking us to sign. You don't understand, so it's null and void. Every single one of it's null and void. And it's just they don't care. They just don't know what they're doing. HB Housing Limited. There's just no idea what they do. Do not understand the seriousness of it. It doesn't matter that we can conclude the second fire exit was on the left and the first one on the right. You should know this. You should be able to say it with confidence. And you're asking me to sign. It even says, funnily enough, very specifically, I can confirm. I've got a photo somewhere, but something like I can confirm. So I made a point of photographing what I had signed and what I had not signed, because you're so paranoid. You know there's going to be a problem. But I still was shocked when Saj called me. But I thought. Because Jashina said, yeah, that's fine. Obviously, you need to get back to me about these problems. She seems to agree, but you're so paranoid. There's going to be a problem. Isn't there? So I made a point of taking photographs, and Jashina saw me. She didn't say anything. That's the thing. She never says anything. It's only when she starts speaking through WhatsApp or emails that it's very firm. This is how we are going to communicate from now on. It just comes across as so aggressive, so then you feel you have to adopt a more formal posture to defend yourself from people trying to tell you what to do. And the guy from Concept was trying to say, oh, you're busy, it's so hard to do. The point is, I'm now trying to claw back time. I've always given, and that's the thing, whatever I'm working on. Jashine knocks on my door, Darcy, Saj, I stop. Hello, how can I help you? Have a half-hour conversation with Darcy. I've always given that time. She can't dare say that I've been too busy. I've always given. I've always stopped whatever I'm doing. I've always stopped to speak to them. And it's hard because you don't know what time they're going to turn up. And as I say, in self-employed work is to be respected as much as employed work. Someone in his house works at Sainsbury's. You wouldn't go to Sainsbury's and say, by the way, it's a sports session time. Well, that could actually be a good idea if they did that right. But you see what I'm saying, that they feel, well, if you're working from home, I can interrupt you. So I politely said, can we please book so I can know how to work at my, know how to organise my work and exercise and training and just eating, finding energy to eat and so forth. And for a little while, Jashina she seemed, up for that. But now it's back to, I've booked you for 12 p.m. tomorrow or Tuesday, because I think she sent it Friday, so she would have said Tuesday, 12 p.m. Tuesday. And it just seems so firm and aggressive. And yeah, I'm not getting any emails from her now, so I'm afraid to check my emails, but there's nothing new. But yeah, I just don't get it. It's just so. Oh my goodness, this trade is awful. It really is. But yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of things and bring people together, and it's just awful. I don't know why my credit score lost 11 points. How did it lost 11? It's gone from good to fair. It's risen by 20 points since January, but it's gone down again. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, I have a hunch, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh yeah, so I'm trying to set up a self-help group. Have you got a date and place? Just talking about dates and places. See, this is how you respond. I mean, it needs to be suitable for everyone. Hello, Sarah. Please do not apologise for your delay. No, but then that sounds assertive, like I'm telling you what to do. So please do not feel you have to. That's more accurate. Please do not. Excuse me, hello, Sarah. Please do not feel you have to apologise for your delays. So sorry, not been in touch. Got a couple of problems. Oh dear. I really do hope your problems can be resolved somehow. I say somehow because obviously there could be a sense it's very major, that there'll be a great cost to try and do what's it, so not meaning to trivialise. So I'll say somehow as to encourage the sense that it could be something really difficult. It may not, but it may not be able to be solved, but I really wish that it could be. Please don't fear. We hope it's resolved somehow. She sent this Friday. Gosh, yeah. I've got so much to catch up with. Who are you two that might be joining? Both two men, I think. I believe both to be two men. Age is unsure, just in case she's wondering about the age. I'm afraid that I cannot really give any details out. They living in Birmingham. I was asking them about they were not travelling to the city centre with the library in mind. Please do not feel so please don't feel you have to apply that really nice. We do hope your post results are both appear to be living in Birmingham. I was asking him about whether or not travelling to the centre would be possible. He was agreeable to the idea, shall we say. Idea. Understand that. Oh yeah, she has muscle pains and similar disabilities to myself, I think, in terms of bodily complaints, issues. So I understand that may be a difficult distance for you to travel. The location is very much undecided still, so as to encourage all to feel they. I'm waiting for a call from that lawyer. They said they'd call me as soon as possible. So still so as to encourage all to feel they're able to attend should they wish to. Do you have any type of location in mind? Ideally, I would host in a cozy house, but as I share with other people, it's not suitable, sadly. I just don't want to meet Yoshino. It's going to be so bad for my health. Yeah, I'm trying to negotiate still, and now they're going to say, "Oh, you must be making that up if you're willing to meet with her." So everyone likes to simplify mental health. Okay, now did I reply to everyone else? Tom, yes, that's another potential. Tom and Chosen. Has not replied back to me. Does it tell you I've done that there? He just put interested, that was his message, interested. Commentary tells you whether or not someone has read your message. Doesn't it? Maybe it doesn't. Interesting. Well, either way. It's just the stalking of the WhatsApp status updates, and I'm trying to think, does it, when you view one, my phone's charging over there, when you view one, does it automatically take you to the other? So she could be viewing accidentally, unintentionally, but she's never brought it up, by the way, accidentally. Can you block me from the WhatsApp? It's like the lines are so blurred there, she doesn't understand. This is the equivalent of having someone on Facebook. She's seeing, not at all because Facebook has status updates. I mean, in terms of, people share all sorts of things as status updates, and obviously I have settings to make sure only certain people I trust can see, or sometimes it's obviously you trust that you don't want to upset them, or you're planning a surprise, you grieve and you don't want to upset their grief, so you might temporarily block them to protect them, whatever. But yeah, just it does my head in. Yeah. Well, excuse me. It's going to be a long week. It's going to be a brutal week. So I'm glad this mission is over. So I know I should be giving lots more. I've not done a great job of exposing, but I'm going to at least keep making as many videos as I can to explain what's going on. So like health and safety issues, asking you to sign contracts and they don't understand them themselves. Being punished for making complaints, not allowed to contact via WhatsApp anymore. I'm only allowed to contact her via email during office hours. And they'll say, and they'll still say, "Oh, Barry, you've never told us about your complaints." Well, how can I complain? If I do complain, I have to wait for you to get back into the office to complain. And obviously, on the one hand, that's how it should be. That's perfect. But the point being, there's a great imbalance. It's like there are 20 different stories, like when Sad was on the phone, essentially saying you need to complain before you complain, you need to give us a chance, you need to complain before you complain. Huh? What? This is going in circles. And you're saying, I never gave you a chance, I never complained, but you're complaining about me complaining. Huh? What? So with the office hour things, that's how it should be in a way. Although support workers are different, of course. As in, I think they're supposed to provide emergency and what's it. But my brain's so sleepy, so exhausted. The office hours thing. There's a I can't even get my brain to function. I thought I was getting closer to being able to. I was getting on top of things when I'm so hungry and so tired. I'm not tired. I don't even feel tired. It's that kind of exhaustion. Just exhausted. Not sleepy at all. Just don't have any energy. Just don't have anything. And I won't be eating for a while. I'm trying to stay upstairs in case someone comes. What are you doing? I'm not speaking to you, young man. It's just all so petty. It's just like being back at school. He said this, she said this. You're adults, you're support workers. Honestly, grow up, honestly. But as soon as you start with that person who's to live with guys, as soon as you confront them and say grow up, they just kick up a fuss. And what they usually do is whatever you've accused them of, whatever you've pulled them up on, they would just strike back at you because they don't have anything to say. So when I said to the guy, you need to grow up, he said, no, you need to grow up. Oh, that's funny. I happen to have the same flaw that I just accused you of having. That was very interesting. What a funny coincidence. It's sort of ad hominem, gosh, I'm going to focus it. I'm so obsessed with words and split. In my mind likes to take up one letter for each word and create sounds like, let's find a word. I want to talk about that because that's still for Ukrainians. I don't want to make that sound light-hearted. But it obviously happens, it's serious, it happens with everything. It's, so like this person says the length of my hair, they were responded to me on Twitter about something. I never mentioned my hair, but they were talking about theirs. So you've got TLOMH. So my mind says tell, lo, mer. But there are different ways of. I need something else to show you what I mean. There are different ways of. I need more T's. What are the T's? There are quite a few different ways of doing it. Well, now I'm saying it out loud, I'm forgetting how I do it because it's so instinctive. So I also realise, actually let's skip to here, overthink it's way too much. So you have ot, you have T, I, it's hard to say, it's in my head, I just say I. Anyway, let's just do overthink it. So ot, T, or you have ot, T for a stronger bounce between the. Sometimes I don't see the word, the letter as bouncing, so I go through different ones. A more silent, a silent instead of silent. T, ot, T, ito. So that's it backwards. But each letter from overthink it. Ot, T, ito, or you have ot, T, it, to. So I play games with different sounds and whatnot. I get carried away. But yeah, so due to the recent situation, due to the recent situation, can you please refrain from messaging me on WhatsApp or something? I'm just thinking, WhatsApp, I'm not allowed to complain to you. Because that's the thing where things are blurred. That's why it's difficult, because she could be at home, but she's sending me messages, and you're so defensive. You feel, okay, I've got to explain it, and then I think we stopped around 3 p.m. or something anyway. I think she's still working then. But yeah, it's just so. And I'm not allowed to contact her now unless it is an emergency. And I did. 4 times I tried to get hold of her, and she was not available. So how can she be my support worker? She's refusing to engage with me. I'm just going to stop recording this quickly so I can upload it quickly, because otherwise I'll get overwhelmed and do loads of editing. I don't think I'm going to edit this video. I think it should be okay to upload straight away. Are they doing more building work again next door? Ow. So I'm going to have to rearrange my face. And then do some more filming later if I have enough memory, maybe.